If you're a mid-level to C-suite leader who wants to own your growth and figure out your next small, brave move to achieve your leadership goals, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Small Brave Moves podcast, a weekly deep dive on how to be braver in leadership and in life for exceptional results. I'm your host, Nicole Bianchi, best-selling author, certified master executive coach, NSA certified speaking professional, chief bravery officer, and tough talk expert. If you're ready to become a better, braver, and more authentic leader, let's dive in. Welcome to the Small Brave Moves podcast. I'm Nicole Bianchi, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by someone who has spent her career helping leaders and entrepreneurs turn their vision into reality. I can't wait to introduce you to Cara Skowronski. She's a professional EOS implementer, former CEO and COO, and someone who brings a powerful combination of strategic thinking, operational excellence, curiosity, grit, and just heart to everything she does. After more than 25 years of leading organizations across manufacturing, technology, distribution, Cara now helps entrepreneurs and leadership teams get what they truly want from their businesses by implementing a simple and practical framework that creates clarity, accountability, alignment, and growth. What I love most about Cara is that she doesn't just teach leadership and growth, she lives it. She's navigated the challenges of leading organizations, letting go of control, building trust in teams, and doing the deep inner work of conquering herself that every great leader eventually faces. In this conversation, we talk about openness, honesty, trust, and courageously letting go of what isn't yours to carry, and why conquering yourself is often the biggest unlock to achieving the vision you have for your business and for your life. So whether you're leading a team of 10, scaling a company of 250, simply trying to become the bravest version of yourself in leadership and life, you're going to gain so much wisdom from this conversation. So please join me in welcoming Cara Skowronski into the Small Brave Moves podcast. Welcome to the Small Brave Moves podcast, Cara Skowronski. She is a professional EOS implementer and CEO of SCO, and a past CEO and COO. And so what I appreciate about her in the work that she does now is she has been there and she has done it. So please welcome Cara to the podcast. Cara, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Nicole, thank you so much for having me. It is always a pleasure to chat with you.
Well, let's get into it. I want you to think about a moment where conquering yourself and turning inward and doing some of that deep inner work was a moment that shifted things for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been such a year of that for me. And this is the Small Brave Moves podcast. I think I would be foolish to choose any other moment than one that occurred at the Brave Leadership Retreat with you and 6 other amazing women leaders that were also on a mission to conquer themselves. And sitting there in that very safe space, I came to the realization that I was only going to attract, in business and in life, the kind of people who would connect with my true, authentic self. And I had this fear. You remember the moment. I had this fear as I'm going through a career transition, and let's face it, a midlife transition too, of letting go of who I've been showing up as, because that is me also. But it was also a me that was looking to get approval from other folks, from other people, in terms of, was I successful? Was I smart? Was I effective? Was I compassionate? And instead of using my own internal thermometer, I realized just how much I was looking for external validation. It didn't occur to me as deeply as it did in that moment. And one of our dear friends there in Siesta Key said, you are going to connect with the people who are connecting with how you show up. So if you show up as anything but the person who you most confidently and authentically are, you're going to be with the wrong people. And I have carried that with me all these 9 months, and it's made all the difference.
Oh, I love that. So when you think about the people you work with, describe the ideal client that you work with.
So as a professional EOS implementer, I help entrepreneurs and their leadership teams love what they do and love the life they're living as well. So my ideal client is someone who is ready for growth, a leader in a small business, typically 10 to 250 people, more afraid of the status quo than they are of change, and really ready to be open and honest with themselves and each other.
Yeah.
So someone who's growth oriented and ready to go for it and make their dreams come true.
I love it. And then you get to be the guide with them working to make that happen. So you hit on something I think important around open and honesty. And so talk to me about, why is the openness and the honesty so important in the work you do?
Oh man, if you don't have a leadership team that is open and honest, you will not achieve the vision, no matter how clearly you all can see the same thing. If you've done enough of the work that you are seeing the same thing, that's incredible. But then you won't be able to achieve it if you're not willing to be open and honest. And I think that many people hear open and honest and they think one thing. They think that's one-sided. They think that is being able to deliver clear, direct, honest, and compassionate feedback. But in my world, in the EOS world, that's really what honesty is about. Honesty is about being able to deliver messaging in that way from a place of love, but directly and with noble.
Yeah.
The other word there is open, and open is about the receiving end of that. So can you really receive any feedback that someone is going to give to you, particularly if you know that it is coming from a place of love and compassion? So that openness is something that, I'm going to be honest, many of my clients, and certainly me, myself, as a CEO, struggled with. The honesty for me came far more easier than the openness did.
I know what you're talking about. And in some of the groups I've worked with, there's varying levels of openness, right? And part of it is probably how we're most naturally wired. Part of it could be culture and environments that maybe didn't support us being as open as we wanted to be. But that's truly a conquer yourself moment, right? Being able to deeply live that openness and practice it and be it. So I'll share a story real quick. I was brought in to work with a CEO and his leadership team. This is probably 6-7 years ago when I first started my business. And there was a moment where I thought, okay, diagnostically, I completely understand the work he wants to do with his leadership team to really grow them to the next level. What was missing, though, was his openness to do what he's asking his leadership team to do, and essentially really modeling it. And it wasn't congruent. So I went to him immediately. This was within 24 hours of starting the work. And I was like, wait a minute here. Like, we talked about this. And he looked at me, Cara, and said, Nicole, you'll never change me. I am who I am. So really just saying, I'm not willing to do the work, but I need you to go fix my leadership team. And I remember just thinking to myself, this isn't going to work. And I actually said, I won't be successful working with your leadership team if you're not willing to model what they needed to do. And what I learned from that moment is approaching every client when I spend time learning about them and deciding if this is a potential fit for me. I really go deep on that openness, because when you talk about the ability to grow, you've got to have the openness to do that. And that's all aspects of the growth, not just the ones that come the easiest, right?
That is so true. And I mean, I applaud you for that small, brave move to give that leader that feedback from your perspective, because surely, he respected you enough to invite you into that room in the first place. And if admittedly that leader was not going to be open, I wonder whether anyone else had ever felt comfortable enough to share that feedback with him. And frankly, I see so often, and again, I was living this as well. I wanted the change and knew what I had to do, but I was afraid to let go. I even wanted the feedback, but I was afraid of doing the work that I knew deep down I needed to do to become the leader I wanted to be. And what it really took was someone who I respected incredibly kind of taking me to task on it. And to back that person up, it was my leadership team who I loved. I thought, man, this team is awesome. And one of them said, we are. You've built this great team. Credit to you. And now we are waiting for you to let us do our jobs.
Wow. What was it, the fear in that moment, Cara?
I think it was trusting us as a team to know what the organization needed. And just like my internal conquering yourself moment, it was that letting go a bit of what the market had come to expect from our organization and saying those expectations served us to a point. Things are changing. We're confident enough. We know what is needed. We can do this. So let's go. And until I had that moment, I couldn't really let go to my team because I was still wondering who else we were trying to make happy or if we needed to make someone else happy. So we had to be willing to let go a bit of who we were as an organization so that we could grow into what was certainly a more secure, more exciting, more serving of our industry company than we had been before. It was a very parallel path for what the organization needed and what we needed as individuals and what I needed as the leader.
One of the internal battles of leadership I talk about in Conquer Yourself that will be coming out in next February is the control versus trust, right? And that's a real tension we can feel. What I love is that your leadership team had the trust with you that they could have that conversation. I guarantee there are so many people listening right now that would go, ooh, I could never have that conversation up. And in fact, when I'm in front of a room doing a keynote and I tell this story of lettuce in my teeth and the CEO not saying anything, I always ask, if you were my CEO, would you say something to me? Almost everybody in the room will, yes, I would absolutely, Nicole. And I'm like, okay, good. They've got my back. And we giggle about it. But then I ask the tougher question, which is, if you were me, would you say something to my CEO about not saying anything? And no more than 10 to 15% of the people raise their hand. They're not willing to have that conversation up. I think that says something a lot about the culture you built, the leadership team, and even in that uncertain moment for you, being able to have people on your team willing to have that brave conversation with you, like that's powerful.
It was incredible. And I think that there's a story about a leader who is frustrated with where they're at and realizes that they need help, but don't know where to go to get it. And so typically they take more control because their fear is driving them to gather control instead of taking a beat and realizing they need help and looking for who to give control to so that they can be freed up. So finally, this entrepreneur, they're at their wits' end and nothing is working. And so they look to the heavens and say, is there anyone up there to help? And the answer comes back, you've got to let go. They're like, are there any other answers up there? Sure. No, there aren't. And when you have a team that is so confident, and it did feel like we had an open and honest conversation pathway, communication protocol, whatever, culture, it's wonderful to hear because it makes the letting go easier. It reminds you that team members want to be held accountable. They don't come to work to take the easy road or to point fingers, especially not in the kind of culture that we built.
No.
They wanted the accountability. They wanted the challenge. And it was actually my responsibility to give it to them. It was an act of service to just let them do their jobs. We opened up a big bottleneck to progress, which was just me. Me.
Control is fear in a leadership costume. And let's go back to openness. You were open, right? You were open to hearing and seeing and thinking about it differently. So if you were to wave your openness magic wand in leaders out there in the world, what, especially if they're struggling with it right now, what's a move they can make to be more open?
We have a specific tool in EOS that's called Delegate and Elevate. But like every EOS tool, there is no magic behind it. These are just simple, time-worn practices that have all come together in one elegant system. But Delegate and Elevate is really taking a minute to think about what you do well and what you love to do that you also do well.
Yeah.
What you don't do well and what you don't do well that you also hate, right? How do we put as many tasks in the do well and love to do it quadrant?
Yeah.
I think that when presented with that option, especially when someone is unhappy enough and can see, I could spend more time doing what I'm good at, then also fills my cup and lights me on fire.
Mm-hmm.
As an individual, you will thrive and grow because you're always working in your sweet spot. And the organization will thrive and grow because it needs that person to do what they love and are best at. And my clients are typically, the founders and visionaries of these entrepreneurial organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can just let all of the tactics go be the big picture thinker and go own all the big relationships and never leave a phone call unreturned to deal with a customer service issue.
Yeah.
Then it's why EOS companies grow at a rate of 35% greater than their competitors because people get organized and aligned to do the work they love the most and are good at. And focusing that human energy on those sorts of things, you've got an entire team that's just on fire, doing what they love with people who they love because those other people enable and support their growth and success. It's a cycle that fulfills itself.
Yeah. I love it. And so many conquer yourself moments in there, right? Because the journey never ends. What I appreciate about EOS experience is it gives you the structure and discipline that if you do slip out of alignment, you can get back in alignment, right? With your team and what you need to do, and you can make the adjustments. So I love that.
Whether you work for a Fortune 50 company where I started my career, or you work for a very small entrepreneurial organization or a startup, you are always conquering yourself to get to the next level, delegating and elevating yourself to be able to perform at your next highest level. As long as you are growing, that cycle of conquering yourself and letting go of control and being comfortable enough to let go of your fear, you have to do it over and over and over again. And so thank goodness we've got resources like all of those that you put out into the universe, or the EOS framework to help enable some growth to happen.
Hey, senior women leader, if you're the one everyone depends on, the one leading the team, carrying the pressure, managing the expectations, solving the problems, and quietly holding it all together while feeling completely exhausted underneath it all, I want you to know I get that. I've been there too. And more importantly, you don't have to keep leading this way. And that's why I created the Brave LeadHERship Retreat experience. My retreats are intimate, luxurious, and deeply transformational, designed for the high-performing women leader who are ready to reclaim their energy, elevate their leadership, and stop overfunctioning their way through life and work. It's not a conference, it's not surface level networking or another room where you have to perform, prove, or hold everything together. It's a deeply curated circle where you get to breathe, be held, think clearly again, reconnect with yourself, and grow alongside some extraordinary women leaders who truly understand the weight that you carry. Every detail is intentionally designed to support that, from the luxurious accommodations to the all-inclusive experience to the executive level coaching, brave conversations, integration time, and restorative wellness experiences woven throughout the retreat. You'll walk away with greater clarity, stronger boundaries, renewed energy, and a completely different way of leading that your team and your family will feel immediately. If that sounds exactly what you need right now, I'd love to personally invite you to explore one of my upcoming retreats at the link in the show notes. Maybe I'll see you soon in the rolling hills of Tuscany, or on the quartz sand beaches of Siesta Key, or maybe even in the energy vortex of Sedona. I'd be honored to hold space for you at the next Brave Leadership Retreat. So think about, for those that are listening right now, and I'm sure they can see themselves in a variety of the different situations that we had talked about, what's something that, if you were to give them one piece of advice, whether it's a small brave move or a conquer yourself moment that would help them, what would you tell the listeners?
I mean, eat the frog. Do the thing you are most afraid to do.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be. Picking up and calling a potential client who is a really high stakes client for you, or having a discussion with your leader about a project that you really want to be assigned to, or a discussion about changes in the workplace that you want clarity on. Whatever it is that you fear the most, practice first. Find someone you trust. Practice your conversation. Use the Small Brave Moves journal. I use it every morning to help you get clarity around the intention of your day.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you give yourself some grace, I will do this within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Great. As you say, Nicole, good habits start like one attempt at a time. And then you use those muscles, the stronger they will be when you need them.
Yeah.
So set yourself a timeline. If you don't feel brave enough to do it today, schedule yourself out some small brave moves every day leading up to it, and make them intentional. Figure out how you're going to practice or get some other wins, and then just go for it.
Yeah.
Because the key to unlocking your own potential and becoming who you want to be is doing that thing you're most afraid of.
Yeah.
It really just is.
Well, and you're starting to dance into the neuroscience of it, which is when we are met with uncertainty or risk, our immediate reaction is that feels like dangerous. And that's what stops us, slows us down, paralyzes us a bit. And so the whole thought process behind Small Brave Moves is the neuroscience shows that if we rewire our neural pathways by practicing something small every single day, it actually makes bravery more accessible to us. And when we're met with uncertainty or risk, our brain doesn't automatically fire with danger. It's like, oh, if I do this, it's going to lead to growth. And so that's the habit forming part. And I practice that every morning as well. And some days my small brave moves are really big. And I'm just sitting there going, send the email, Nicole, or make the ask, do this. And I'm just sitting there going like, oh boy. And sometimes they're smaller, right? But the fact is that you're doing them. So I love that. And I love that you're practicing the journal. That's amazing.
The school of thought that the Small Brave Moves practice is breaking things down into tangible pieces help us overcome our natural defense mechanism to change, right?
Yeah.
And so it is very convenient, or maybe not surprising at all, that that's how the EOS system works too, right? How do you break a 10-year goal down into what you need to do this week to achieve it?
Yeah.
It sounds like this huge task, but the framework actually makes it very simple. And I think no matter what size organization you work in, no matter what your position is, it's all about getting started and breaking those big goals and those big asks down into the small pieces that make them easier to work those bravery muscles or to work up the courage that you need to go bigger. And then it just becomes easier to just do the big stuff. And that's when the growth happens, right? Once you're confident that you can achieve what you set out to 13 weeks in a row, right? All of a sudden, you're at some great quarterly accomplishment. You string 4 quarters together, and then you've got your 1-year accomplishments. Those go by in a blink.
Yeah.
And if you have the discipline to work on it every week all along or every morning with the Small Brave Moves Journal, you hit those goals far sooner than the timeline you expected, right? And this is all neuroscience. And boy, we could probably talk about this, for a week.
I know.
We really could. But, you can do far more in 10 years than you think you could do in 10 years. You can do far less in a year than you think you can do in a year. So the smaller you can break things down, the more achievable you can make your near-term goals, you will blow the far-term ones out of the water.
Cara, thank you. I'm sitting here soaking in the wisdom that you're sharing with me because it makes so much sense. And especially as a startup or an entrepreneur, right? Somebody listening, somebody growing and scaling, maybe they're at 100 employees and they're trying to get to that next level. Somebody that's listening that goes, ooh, I love Cara's style. I love how she approaches this. And she's got this EOS system along with it. How can they connect with you to explore a conversation to see if they might be a fit for you in your business?
Yeah, they can shoot me an email or find me on LinkedIn, or you can book a time right there on LinkedIn for that matter.
That's amazing. We'll put all that information in the show notes as well, so they can just click and go to that. So, Cara, I just want to say thank you so much for always showing up just so warm and authentic. I deeply appreciate your leadership style and how you move through the world. So thank you for joining me on Small Brave Moves.
Thanks for having me, Nicole. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Small Brave Moves podcast. If you're wanting to take this work even deeper, I'm here to help. From engaging in inspirational keynote speeches to transformational coaching and workshops for leaders and teams, page-turning books, online courses, and enlightening leadership development retreats. There are so many ways that we can work together to take your leadership to the next level. For more information, check out the show notes, and let's do this together. One small brave move at a time. See you next week.